And we're live. Hello everybody, Dark Phoenix Gaming here, and welcome back to my live stream of Stellaris Apocalypse with the Terran Empire. And for once, I don't have to go on some random spiel about what happened before due to this being a stream I started on YouTube or some such thing, as I've been doing lately. So we can just dive back in 2231 and all that, and just see what happens. All I'm going to say is this: since I still have to Alt-Tab out to check the chat, I may occasionally miss a message or two, so don't be too harsh on me if that does happen. It's just a thing that tends to occur. So here we are at Earth, in the heart of our empire, which is growing quite a bit, and we're moving towards some marauders. But right now, we have at least one rival in the neighborhood. These guys down here, well, they're Xeno scum, so we need to crush them. These idiots are not only our rivals, but they are Democratic Crusaders. Oh, and lest you forget, the reason they also don't like us is because of this. This planet of Riblaga, here in the Casaurus system, is a bunch of primitives that we conquered not too long ago. And as it happens, we are now eating those primitives. They are part of our food supply. So that is probably part of the reason why they don't like us all that much. I mean, maybe I'm imagining things. Maybe they love being eaten. But somehow I doubt that. We also have a bunch of construction projects going on because we basically already exploited all the resources within our borders that are not on planets. And right now, before we can colonize this world right here, I'm working on getting ocean ecology management so that we can clear away the other tile blocker. So let's unpause the game and bump it up to fast speed. But yes, right now that's what we've got going on. We are claiming a bunch of systems around our space. And I have both of my science ships on automatic exploration. Even though I do love exploring, for the most part, at the moment we want to deal with more important things than exploring. We have our 791 military strength Imperial First Fleet at the moment. Uril, over there, has now become a pirate haven, so the First Fleet needs to be sent to deal with them. And as I was saying, we're currently waiting on our destroyers, which are 20 months away. And when they arrive, I am going to start building a few destroyers to supplement the First Fleet, because we need to get heavier ships on the go. That said, I think actually I've thought about it, and since our borders are growing rather rapidly right now, and I feel like we're getting to the point where a second fleet would be nice to have. So I'll build 2 corvettes at the Casaurus station, and those can form the backbone of what will be the Imperial Second Fleet. They can defend our northern border, and since the First Fleet stays closer to the south, they can have the southern border.
Enemy presence exposed.
That's right. I'd forgotten that our construction ship was heading there. And there goes an outpost. Guys, would you mind killing that for me? That'd be great, yeah? Of course, they're going to manage to squish it before we can really get there, so that'll be an issue. The Sin Menace has been located. Oh, it's more alien scum. Keep out of our way or we'll make you. And these alien scum have a bunch of territory up to the north.
Construction complete.
And they've closed us out of their borders. I mean, I'm not overly surprised considering we close people out of our borders by default. Now let's take this opportunity to rename the fleet. There we go, it's the Imperial Second Fleet. Now though, we're going to need a leader for the Second Fleet. And let's go into Fleet Manager, Imperial Second Fleet, also 15. And they're not being very fast at that whole thing of killing our outpost. Not that I mind. A bunch of our planets have finished construction. Let's see what they were building. For the most part, just generic stuff. Mines and so on. I will say this though. I'm going to be so glad when this stellar culture shock wears off our new slaves, because then we can start exporting slaves across our empire and end our little having human slaves thing that we've got going on, but not hit our resource output. Which is part of the reason why I want to get up to this arid world here. Because there are primitives on it. I want to conquer them because more slaves. Of course, I don't actually plan on keeping that world. Or I might, who knows. But really I just want the people on there for slaves, so we can have more slaves. Because yeah, I may just abandon the world and keep the system. And tell them, hey, you're our slaves now. No, you don't get to keep hanging on your home world. We're taking you off it. Too bad. I don't care what you think. We might just do that whole thing. Who knows? Now, let's see here. The Imperial Second Fleet, I'm going to have reinforce. Start getting us towards having the amount of... having our 2 fleets of equal strength. I did not do a good job of explaining that. Normal speed. And they are going to fall to us. Mwahaha. which planet? Well, I see. Now, Reblaga wants to revolt, because we have a human slave on the planet. We have more slaves than free people on that world, so... I'm going to put our next pop over on the science to counteract that. And now we're going to go after that. You do that.
Star system charted.
And then build those two. We're gonna start pushing our borders south, as well as north a little bit. Those are, of course, relative terms, seeing as we are operating in space, but, you know, it fits, kind of. Get me a physics lab. We need to keep boosting our research as well, because those of you who've been keeping up with this series will know the reason for this being labeled Take 2 is down to the fact that this is my second attempt at a series in Stellaris with Apocalypse. And the reason behind that is fairly simple, actually. My last series, it was a combination of an update that released, it was 2.0.2 I think, that introduced some new mechanics that kind of made continuing a little difficult from an existing save game. It was a combination of that and the fact that my research was getting quite far behind my neighbors, so it really wasn't worth it to continue on. I mean, I could have, but I chose not to. In any case, we now have another tradition to go for. This faction, though, what did they want? Domination. Yeah, that's right. And I'm inclined to humor them on that point. Actually get domination. I was sort of umming and ahhing between domination and supremacy. But domination would be nice. It would be pretty good to be able to conquer people through vassalization and establishing tributaries. And it seems like the kind of thing our empire would do. Plus, the more diplomatic options is always good. That unlocks vassalization and tribute options in diplomacy. Though I will admit I don't exactly know how those systems work right now. Let's see. Demand vassalization. We have to be at least superior to them. Is what's going on there. Yep. We have to be bordering them and at least superior in our military power.
Attacking enemy vessels.
Apparently we arrived just as they spawned a new fleet. Screw you guys.
Construction complete.
Screw you guys. Reblaga's finished its construction of that mine, so our income shoots up a bit more. We can't clear volcanoes, so it can't improve our energy output like that.
Star system charted.
Goodbye, station. Now please kill their fleet. It's an eyesore. Now our fleet can go home, please, and fix itself up. And now, you lot build that mining station. And then go get the Okriki system. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that properly.
Construction complete.
The Alpha Centauri starbase was finished with whatever it was doing, apparently. Our fleet is headed over there to get fixed up. I'm going to drop us down 1 speed. There's our cold fusion reactor. Global energy management? Yes, please. We want that capacity overload edict to be able to get our higher energy production as a result whenever we need it. I think that's an excellent idea. Why are you going over there? I expressly said to mine that energy first, you idiot. Great. I hate it when that happens. I really do. Oh, John 17717. Hello, and welcome to the stream. How are you doing? And that is a very long username with a lot of numbers. I hope you don't mind if I just refer to you as John from here on out. And if you've been here for a while, apologies for not noticing you sooner, but... And I'm going to be saying this a lot until it no longer ends up being the case. I have to Alt-Tab out of the game to check the chat right now. For some technical reasons that I still have to get set up and all, I do not have access to an alternate monitor that I can put my chat on just yet. I will soon, but I have to pick up a... sorry, lost my train of thought for a second. I do have a monitor, basically, but I have to get a different kind of cable to hook it up properly, because my computer only has one HDMI port, and I only own HDMI cables right now. So I have to get one of those DisplayPort to HDMI cables to be able to use that monitor for this purpose, is the problem that I have at the moment. And that's going to have to wait a little bit. Now, let's check things out here. Our naval power with them is back to equivalent because I commissioned that secondary fleet. There, yeah. Over here, these guys are building their star bases, which is good and bad. It's good because we have more territory and therefore resources to take advantage of. It's bad because these marauders now share an even larger border with us. And sharing a border with the space Mongols isn't what I'd call a good thing. Let's see, 995 from the Void Cloud. Let's see, that's 532. Four months left until we can start commissioning destroyers. But we have rather a lot of cash right now. I am going to spend some of it on reinforcing our second fleet. Ruthian independent polities laid claim to one of our systems. Those pricks. Oh, you're going to claim our systems, are you? Well, I have a response for you. I don't like that one. I'm going to keep resetting until I get an appropriate insult. Hopefully I do get one. Yes, that'll do it. I can taste your stink, vile bug. Every time I do, I fear that I've somehow been infected by it. That is how revolting you are. Yes, we've insulted you. And screw you. Democratic Crusader scum, everyone knows autocracy is the way to go. And the only real government. I'm speaking in character for my empire, by the way. That is in no way, shape, or form some kind of political commentary. So don't fucking suggest it. Now we're going to nab that system because it has those primitives in it. Then I will go back and start doing some other resource stuff. Unrest hallowed. They're becoming more spiritualist over on this world. I could move our pop off of there, but I actually prefer having this world. It's a handy one to have. That tile blocker has been completed. Let me see here. What do we go for next? I actually don't care for the Chemical Bliss living standard right now. The more habitability strategic resource, I'm going to say not. But more leader lifespan, hell to the yes. Now we wait until next month, at which point our resource production will be a bit bigger. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. It's not. Let's see. Next month we will get access to destroyers though. And we have this event now. The Great Whetstone. An extended period of unrelenting border skirmishes with the Sathori Marauders has hardened our serving naval crews. Their abilities have been tempered in battle, and our forces have even adopted several complex Sathori combat maneuvers that will give them an edge in future conflicts. We get an increase in fire rate for 120 months. Very nice to have. And now we can both build destroyers and have bigger individual fleets. My next order of business then is the coil guns. Having bigger guns on our ships. But for now, we go into the designers and make us another class of warship. My destroyers. We're going to make two different types of destroyers. One that's essentially a long-range artillery ship that will bombard our enemies from extreme range. Let's see here. I'll put mass drivers. Is on them for now. I may decide later to switch out some of the mass drivers for lasers, but for the moment this will do. What have we got now for shields? 150. Actually, my armor will have less armor for more shields, I think. I like that amount. Now, what do we call this ship? I think I'm going to be sticking to the theme that we established with the corvettes, and naming them after various Greek and Egyptian gods, goddesses, and mythological figures. So this destroyer... Let's see, what do I want to call the thing? That is the question. What do I call it? trying to figure that out. I know. We will call this destroyer. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the name. What the hell? Ares class. That one can go away. Now, though, we need the other type of destroyer I wanted. That's more small guns and getting up close and personal with its engagements. And that one, it is going to be mostly that type, but I will add in some red lasers, just to make things more equal. And we'll give this one the name Isis class. The Ares and Isis class destroyers. Speaking of which, Nova Arabia needs to have some of its stuff cleared, and that's not even related in the slightest, I realize. But now we can start the colonization of Sirius, because we can clear away a good chunk of this stuff. We still can't get rid of active volcanoes or clear out the dangerous wildlife, but I don't see a problem with starting to colonize that world now. Roscan, we have encountered something. Another alien species.
Star system charted.
The first fleet has been fixed up, and are now at a strength of 845. Speaking of our fleets, they both need a little bit of a rejig, because we can now add destroyers. I think you want one more of those. I'll leave it at 2930. 4 Ares class, 3 Isis class for now. Add ship design. There we go. Start reinforcing our first fleet with a couple of destroyers. Because our fleets are approaching the point where we can start clearing out these space monsters. And be able to push south. And especially important, claim that natural wormhole for our own. Because wormholes. Because wormholes. I mean, what other reason do I need? Morigard, we've finished up over there. So now I'm going to do a little bit of mining over some of these places. Yeah, do that. I'll get to the foreign power in a second. Now that administration of Rontus Prime, bit on the big side. You will not threaten our Emperor, alien scum. And god damn it. We'd already jumped before they decided to do that.
Construction complete.
Those idiots do not like us, apparently. They have a superior naval capacity. We're going to push right up against their borders, though, and they can deal with it, as far as I'm concerned. I really don't give a damn. I really don't.
Construction complete.
Alpha Centauri. We have the first of our destroyers. Earth has come online, and our first fleet is just shy of 1,000 military power. I would like to have a second destroyer in that fleet, but I'm going to go after these alien menaces in our south and start claiming that territory there. Seeing as these guys here do not appear all that interested in going after that particular territory, I think I'll take it off their hands. After all, if they're not interested in it, then that's basically them saying I can have the whole thing, right? That's what I see it as, so it must be. They want me to have all that territory for myself. Oh, and John, if you're still watching this, I have one question I want to ask. How's the volume for this stream? Because I had to rejig how I was setting up my volume in the actual streaming software recently, because I realized in one of my, after rewatching one of my recent VODs, that it had been a little bit too quiet, actually. So I ended up redoing it, and I'm wondering, did I make it too loud? You haven't noticed anything about it being too noisy or anything, have you? Because that would be unfortunate if I tried to increase the volume that little bit and it ended up being a touch too noisy or something as a result. So just let me know how the music is and the game sound in general in comparison to my voice. We found a Sathori resource cache in the Chort system? Where's that? Ah, right. Which is right on their border. By chance, patrol units recently discovered a hidden deep space resource cache in the Chort system, close to our border with the Sathori Marauders. The massive space cargo containers of the cache contains spoils from several Sathori raids that must have been launched centuries ago. At some point this cache was forgotten, or perhaps its owners were killed in another raid, or one of the countless Sathori feuds. In any case, its contents belong to us now. 300 minerals and energy. Thank you so much.
Complete.
And that fleet can now head off to deal with those matters. Okay, that's good. You do that, and then get set up with your energy mining station there. And that void right there is 995. We'll be going after it soon. Let's see. Next is the Sirius system. I'm colonizing it. Nova Arabia. Tritonus. I'm fine with that name. But for now, it's time to keep up our expansion, because we don't have a lot of resources within our borders, so the ones we do have, we need to exploit. Okay then. How is everything going? It seems to me to be going pretty well. But I'm a little biased since I'm the one playing, most likely. Our fleet over here has 2 destroyers now. We're buffing it considerably. Our fleet up north is not nearly as strong, with 480 military strength and 9 corvettes. Capacity overload. What I see. Let me check this. I think I'm going to get hyperdrive 2 just to be able to make more effective hyperdrive jumps. Or I would, but actually I'm changing my mind now, and I'm going for basic combat roles to unlock the specific combat computers for our different warships. For buffs and bonuses and what have you. Those twits in the independent polity are starting to claim our space again. I've tried telling them to fuck off, they don't want to listen. Everyone near us now appears to be equivalent to us in power, so we are keeping up with them. I would like to be superior to at least one person, though. That would be my preference. Earth. We have this place. Alright, now, let's see, what do I want to do next? I'm actually going to leave that enslaved pop sitting on the food on Earth alone, because I plan to eventually have them move to our new colony over in the Sirius system when that finally gets established. So I'm just going to leave that slave pop be for now. Let's see. Establishing yet another outpost to keep growing our borders. It's the never-ending dance, eh? Never-ending dance. Now, 450 to boost the strength of the second fleet. 450 minerals, obviously. I'm dropping us down to normal speed because I'm pretty sure we're going to end up in battle not too long after entering this system. And yep, there's the space amoebas who need to be made dead. That pop there that grows in on the science should address that matter. But our 2 destroyers here are a pretty big chunk of this fleet's strength. That should help. And we're stuck in. Let's do this. Tearing through their smaller ships with ease. Or, I call them ships, but they're just very organic beings. It's this big one that's going to soak up the most damage. That being their equivalent of a destroyer. And we wiped them out with ease. That's 995. Right there in that system. I'm going to hold off going after them for a bit. And space amoebas dissected. Space amoebas, now a quasi-derogatory term gleefully popularized by the human forces tasked with bringing them down, are much more complex than anticipated. Their hardy exteriors protect a number of pockets housing smaller amoebas, creatures that our fleets have observed effectively acting as strike craft when engaging the mothership amoeba. While superficially similar, beyond the obvious difference in sizes, the strike amoeba are much simpler creatures than the amoeba proper. Inside organs, doubtless all integral to surviving the harsh vacuum of space. Many of these organs ruptured or were simply incinerated in the process of dispatching the amoebas, leaving us with a largely incomplete carcass. However, xenobiologists assigned to the Space Amoeba Project believe that the process of acquiring specimens is sound, and have distributed specific targeting instructions among the military fleets involved. 5 more amoebas killed by surgical strikes to specific parts of their anatomy, a complete carcass can effectively be reconstructed. So, whatever helps us be rid of them faster, and we do more damage to those guys as a result. And if you're wondering why I did that move there and then build an outpost thing when we already had it queued up, that is because of a little quirk with how queuing up a bunch of outpost buildings in a chain when they're further away from your border than you'd like works. It doesn't take into account that your border will have moved forward by the time you're building that. And so the population, the amount of influence you have to spend to build there still remains the same. You don't get it refunded after your border moves up, so I'm doing that so that I have to spend the least amount possible, is what is going on there. Our survey of habitable worlds is done.
Star system charted.
After that, you can go there. We surveyed another system, and are keeping up with our system surveyness. So, that colony ship is well on its way, and we will soon be setting up on this world in the Sirius system. I forget what we named it. We'll see once our colony ship touches down there, won't we? Put you there.
Construction complete.
For more power.
Construction complete.
Our colony ship. And Alpha Centauri is on its way, and I'm going to push the speed up a little bit more. In response, I think. One of our ships is now missing in action. Probably were in a system when one of our rivals expanded their territory. Yeah, I don't know where that science ship was. Probably over there somewhere. Then these guys took another system, and they were in that system when it got taken. So they had to get kicked out. I'm guessing that's what happened. starbase construction down there is finished. So build those energy mines and then get over to that system. For the time being, I want to keep going south, claim all those systems, and have a border with these guys. And now... you guys are equivalent to us in everything still, but the Imperium of douche faces is still our inferiors. Which is good. Which is very good.
Technology secured.
What we got? Coil guns 2, I see. So what I'm going for now is going to be, let's see, flak batteries or autocannons. Which would work better for me? More shield and hull damage, less armor, or point defense. Well, we could probably do with unlocking point defense slots to be able to start shooting down strike craft. Once strike craft become a thing, that is. We haven't really been seeing much, if anything, in the way of strike craft, but they would be nice to have access to eventually. Brublaga, you need your science lab. We'll need to put a science lab there. Our friend over on Earth is still a slave, but we're leaving them there for the time being, I think. And then I will move them. I will move them onto our new colony once it gets established.
Star system charted.
Our colony ship is heading over to Barnard Star and then to Sirius to establish that new colony. And to Barnard Star, and now we have to cross that system. So. Anyways, John, I hope you're enjoying the live stream, such as it is. I mean, there's not a whole lot of us in here, so at least you enjoy. For the moment, it's just you, me, and Nightbot, so... have fun being the one person in my live stream for now. I hope it's something you at least somewhat like. I do enjoy streaming these games, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it, after all.
Construction complete.
Those idiots are still claiming our shit. Nova Arabia is done. Yeah, I do enjoy streaming this, and I would be playing these games anyways, even if I wasn't streaming, but I am glad that you're here, and that I have something resembling an audience, at least for the time being. Our colony is being established now. Our third colony.
Colonization in progress.
Tritonus. That was the name we gave it. People there are going to be a little bit more unhappy because of unstable tectonics, but they can deal with it. Now... 450 to reinforce our northern fleet. Well, we're at our naval capacity just about, so... I'm going to need to address that first. Build those two. Then build that. And where's our other construction ship at? Right up there. Dealing with those resource thingamo-whatsits. Okay, once you're done with that, build those two. And go out to there. Now upgrade that physics lab.
Tactical retreat.
We found ancient mining drones. There's an arid world there, so I've seen nothing in that system to indicate it's of much value to me just yet. When I inevitably spread my borders out to that direction, we will annihilate those mining drones. Just because we can't reprogram them and put them under our control or anything, we might as well. So, there's that. Anywho. How about this? What's being cleared right now? Ah, it's the physics, that's right. So you go over there so you don't end up becoming a slave when you grow up. And have a basic science lab so that you can actually work on something when you grow up properly. Our colony will be done by 2239 in a couple of years. We're building outposts over there to expand our borders, and speaking of which, science ship, please research that, survey that, research that, and research that. Get on it. Then I'm going to send you off to do a bunch of projects. I don't know how many of these debris things are going to expire before we get to them, but I'm not too bothered, honestly. If one or two of them end up expiring before we can get to them, then so be it. That'll just be what happens. But I'm putting us up to fast speed now, just because not a whole lot is happening. You can snap there, grabbing starbases and stuff. That's Sapphire Lurker's system, though. Hang on. Those twits are claiming my stuff. Still, bastards. You are bastards. And I'm going to hurt you. As badly as I possibly can. Yeah, it may surprise you to learn, though, the independent polity here that we're rivals with, I don't like them very much. I know, shocking, isn't it? Just shocking that we don't like them. You'd think we'd love our rivals, but no, we despise them. I will take level 2 deflector shields for our ships, I think. Can't beat having better energy shielding on your vessels, right? For now. Actually, no. I keep telling myself I'm going to keep reinforcing the fleets and stuff, but that would bring me over my naval capacity. So first, we need to upgrade another starbase and get to that capacity. And I think we'll be upgrading the one in Sirius, because that is where we have our colony, and excluding Kasora up there, which I upgraded the starbase because it's producing the majority of our food supply. I'm trying to keep our starbases fairly centralized at this early stage, and just be able to maintain starbases over our colonies for the time being. I'm sure that will change in the future, but for the moment, I'm sticking to having my starbases in systems where we have our colonies. Let's see here. That debris is about analyzed, and then we could check out the system and set up a station there so that pirates don't spawn in the damn place.
Construction complete.
Reblaga is done constructing. So we can have a biolab for when that pop finally grows up.
Succeeded.
We got some stuff. Let's see, anything else to do here? Well, this guy can have a power plant. And right now, god fucking damn it, they keep claiming us. Well, we're not planning on war in the immediate term, but two can play at that game, bastards. So there, we will claim 4 of your systems. Because I'm fairly certain they'll end up being our first target, just because they are bastards. If they want to keep claiming our territory, then we will respond in kind. That's just how I've decided to do things. So yes, you can tell this is really starting to resemble something like the Cold War, just located in space rather than on Earth now. As my relationship with them, heck, my relationship with most of the galactic powers we know about, is not what I would refer to as friendly. In fact, it's pretty damned hostile so far. So, we're going to have to address that. And we keep pushing our borders forward, thankfully.
Construction complete.
Reblaga's surface construction of that biolab is done. And hey, we met the artisan troop. That's very nice. We finally met an alien power that's sole interest in the galaxy isn't being a dick to the galaxy's rightful rulers. Yes, I did refer to the Terran Empire as the galaxy's rightful rulers, because
Construction complete.
that is pretty much how they view themselves, it's as it being their right to rule the galaxy. There. That's what we need, and then that will boost our naval capacity by a little bit.
Construction complete.
We have made a new contact with the technocracy of Vivis. keep out of our way, you pricks. And they are located down there. Their fleet power is inferior to ours, and they have no relation to anyone. But we have no way to get a hyperlane connection into their territory at this moment in time. First order of business, build all those mining stations. Then go claim another system for me. Then do that. And actually, how is our colony coming along? By the end of next year, we will have it fully established. That's good. That's very good. So it's going well for us so far. That said, we need to deal with our energy problem wherever we can. However, it's probably a good idea to mention the fact that a large portion of that energy deficit is coming from the fact that Tritonus is still being colonized, and that's costing us around 8 energy.
Special project complete.
We've found a highly stylized picture of what appears to be a Ute cruiser and a smaller Jabardini scout in close formation during their first contact event as a result of our archaeological project. Then we've gained 1 Ute artifact. An interesting find indeedsies. So I'm going to send them off to analyze that asteroid dwelling there. Okay, and these guys, after they finish up over there, are going to go and claim that system, because this area is not a particularly friendly one to us. Those 2 systems are right smack dab between 2 empires that are not very friendly towards us, and one that is outright hostile to us. We need a new scientist. Our old one just bought the farm. However, we right now have no real means to check out those projects because the scientist that was on that mission just croaked. Yeah.
Sphere of influence
After you're finished up there, you can get that. Our colony is now set up. Tritonus. We'll put you there and give you a power plant. Our colonist over on Earth, who is a slave, because of being on food, can be moved over to Tritonus, I think. We'll put them on the biolab, the biological tile. And I'm going to start clearing away a whole lot of stuff on this world. Was enslaved. We'll clear away in a couple of years. But for now, that pop is not going to be especially happy. But I'm going to stick them there and put up a basic science lab because I'm planning on having that be a bio lab.
Technology secured.
Oh, I see our previous guest has decided to pop out of the game. I guess he had other things to do. It happens. Black battery research. And I will pick up starholds. Better fortifications and all that jazz. Now we can get a total of 5 more ships in our naval capacity. How are you guys doing? Their fleet power is still inferior. Their fleet power is equivalent. We still cannot demand their vassalization because they are equivalent to us despite the inferior fleet power. And I hope to do something about that someday. However, I think we have reached a nice stopping point for this particular live stream. I've claimed a good number of additional systems. We've got a new colony on the go. Things are growing, and I'll upgrade that to a power plant until level 2. As I was saying, things are growing. And we're expanding our fleet, and finally getting into some good old-fashioned Cold War action against these independent polity shits over here, who have the balls to keep claiming our systems. And who, it must be said, have no allies. Or diplomatic relations of any kind, except that they don't like us. Which makes them an ideal first target for when war finally does break out. So, let's save the game, and I am going to exit to main menu. So, thank you very much to everyone who turned up to watch this live stream. I really do appreciate you being here. If you want to catch Stellaris again from me, I will typically be streaming this on Fridays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Next week, my schedule is going to be a little bit finicky, though, due to having guests over. However, if you want to know when my other live streams typically are, you can check the Events tab on my page. I will... or rather, you can check the schedule beneath the streams. I will list all of my events there, and those are when I'm probably going to be streaming, with some exceptions, as real life will sometimes creep up on me and force me to cancel or reschedule. But usually my streams will be at either 9 AM Eastern Standard Time every day of the week, or on occasion, when I'm not able to do that or I have to reschedule one or two, on occasion, some of my streams will be at 6:30 PM. It really depends, but 9 AM is the usual time. And usually I will be doing Thrones of Britannia on Monday, Surviving Mars on Tuesday, Kaiserreich on Wednesday, Darkest Dungeon on Thursday, Stellaris on Friday, XCOM 2 on Saturday, and Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition on Sunday. But, like I said, I've recently had to rejig some stuff since I won't be able to stream this weekend, so my Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition live stream will be this evening at 6:30 PM. So, if you want to catch me for my next stream, that's when you can find it. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you for whatever stream of mine you decide is worth your time next. And this has been Dark Phoenix Gaming, and thanks again for watching. See you next time. So long for now. So long for now. Bye-bye.